What's up, everybody? It's your girl Tia Antoinette here. I want to do something a little different today. I am loving this little curl right here. Y'all see this? Here for all of it. Okay, sorry. I want to do something a little different today. No, not play in my hair, but I want to do a little advice video or whatever you want to call it, dealing with how to successfully spouse. And this is just for anybody who is not yet married, who, wants to be. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be single. There's nothing wrong with being married. You know what I mean? And if you have wondered, like, how you should do it, what to stay away from, whatever, hopefully this video can help you a little bit. And it's two parts. One is how to maintain before you get married, and one is to how to maintain during your marriage. So with that being said, I'm going to start. And the first one in my before marriage list is to complete yourself or fulfill yourself. And that basically means, you know how in the movies they say, oh, you complete me, blah, blah, blah. That's crap. Don't feel like you should look for someone to complete you. You should really be complete in yourself. Or better yet, you should be on a journey so that God completes you. And even if you don't go to church or, you aren't a Christian, you should be happy and whole within yourself, whether that is traveling, whether that is getting your career where you want it to be, whether that's going to school. Being single is not a time of mourning. A lot of people like, oh, I wish I had a man. I wish I had a woman. I wish I was married. And I understand that, nobody wants to feel like they're going to be alone and single for the rest of their lives. But at the same time, a lot of people who are married sometimes wish they were single. They wish they didn't have to answer to somebody, or they wish they, could just make decisions for themselves, or they wish they could just, take some money and save it or however and just go on a trip. But there are sacrifices that you have to make and compromise. And when you're single, you don't have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? You're just living for yourself. And I'm not trying to knock marriage, but sorry, my cat's playing. I'm not trying to knock marriage when I say that, but we tend to wish we had what we don't have currently, but on the opposite hand, people wish they had what you have. So whether it's like I said, traveling, or joining a book club, or working out, or I don't know, if you go to church, get in ministry. That's a really good way to serve the kingdom and help bring people to Christ and support your church. And also, you never know, you might meet somebody who may become Mr. Forever or Mrs. Forever, Mr. and Mrs. Right. You just never know. So something to consider. But the point is to make yourself happy, and don't lean on somebody else, because that person can disappoint you sometimes. That it may be, you get in a relationship, it may be great for the first few months, but then when things get hard, and you may see the real them. And again, this isn't to discourage you, but just you have to be secure and whole in yourself. You should never give that job to somebody else, because that's just too big of a responsibility. And people change. We change. So yeah, fulfill yourself is number one. Number two, learn from your dating mistakes. Okay, so that means if you tend to pick a certain type of person, like let's say you like the bad boys, they're exciting, they're this, they're not boring, they got muscles, they got tats, whatever. They're called bad boys for a reason. And I'm not knocking bad boys, but the exciting guys, if they tend to break your heart, you can't write off guys. You can't sit here and say, oh, all men are full of, what? You can't say that. You can, but at the same time, you have to also take some responsibility and figure out, what am I doing wrong? Why am I attracting a certain type? What can I do different? and be open to dating somebody new. You know, we all say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, if you are continually dating someone who it is not working out, and you're hoping that dating that same type is going to work out one day, you know, it might not happen like that. And, you know, you want to be able to grow and learn from your mistakes. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with making mistakes. There's nothing wrong with picking the wrong person. But what's important is, are you learning from it? And are you, you know, doing what you got to do to make better decisions and pick people who are going to be more compatible with you. So whether that means going to therapy, whether it means, you know, having a really honest heart to heart with yourself, or praying, you know, do whatever you got to do. Because let's say you date people who, I don't know, are very materialistic, but you know, that's not what you want in a marriage. Like, I know you got to think long term, I guess I'm trying to say. And I don't know, just go according to plan. Like, you can't say, oh, I want to marry a guy who is A, B, and C, but you keep dating XYZ guys. You know, you have to figure out, where am I going wrong? What is it mentally or emotionally that I haven't dealt with? You got to have those hard conversations with yourself. And if you can't, there's nothing wrong with therapy. I'm going to school to be a therapist. So, you know, in 5 years, you can actually call me and we can sit down and figure it out for a fee. But yeah, or talk to your pastor or whoever, you know, close friend or someone you trust, mentor or whatever. But the point is, figure out what you want and do the work so that you are attracting the right people who are going to be good for you. Don't always pick what's good to you. Sometimes you got to pick what's good for you. You have to take responsibility, because, you know, you don't want to be with somebody and you're married to them and you're like, man, this person is crap or whatever. But there are things that you noticed beforehand and you just, I don't know, it just didn't line up. You know, we got to not let our hearts and our emotions rule all the time. It could get us in trouble. We have to use logic sometimes. So yeah, that's number 2. And number 3 is to deal with issues in your relationship before marriage, not during. So let's say you're in a long-term relationship now and you love this person, you know, you want to go that mile with them and get married someday. And let's say they have an issue with gambling. You know what I mean? Don't think just because when you guys get married that it's gonna just go away. You know, the gambling is gonna go away. You got to deal with that now. You have to deal with it now. Or flirting or cheating. Well, cheating, you just walk away from that, depending on the situation. But that's a whole nother video. Whatever, like, hardcore issues you have now, don't sweep it under the rug and think we get married, it's all gonna be peaches and cream and everything's gonna disappear. It does not work like that. I can tell you, it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? And even if it doesn't get better before, like, even if it's not perfect, still have the conversation now. Let your mate or your boyfriend or girlfriend know, look, I have an issue with the gambling, or I have an issue with this. Let's deal with it. You know what I mean? At least get the ball rolling so they'll know where you're coming from, and let them know it's important, and actually at least get the ball rolling and deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Start the conversation. So that's what I have for the before list. And this is for the during list. So let's say you do get married. Hey, congratulations. Amen. Okay. Probably the most important piece of advice I can give you is to have your own mind. Okay? Speaking from someone who used to be very easily influenced. Now he wants to call. I'll talk to you later. Sorry, guys. Speaking for somebody who used to be very easily influenced, you cannot be like that once you get married. I promise you can't be like that, because it's really easy for us, especially if you're a woman, to want to rant and complain about what your man done to your girls or to your mom. And you're going to hear advice. You know what I'm saying? People are going to give their 2 cents. You have to have your own mind to at least, okay, you're going to hear advice, but okay, you really have to sit down and have a heart to heart with God or with yourself. And okay, what's best? But you can't take everybody's advice, because you can't bring a whole bunch of people in your marriage. You're not married to your friends. You're not married to your mom, dad, siblings, whoever. You're married to that person. And even people who have good intentions for you may give you the wrong advice. So you have to have your own mind. And just be careful with the business that you tell. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, except for the very select few close, best friends to the end types, you shouldn't be telling negative business to everybody anyway. You want to keep a united front in your marriage, because you don't want to give people a foothold to even have opinions, or to, just, you don't want to open that door. And it's very hard, because you can see, even with me, I talk a lot, I run my mouth, but we have to find different ways to process when things go left in our marriage. So I'm not saying don't talk to your friends, but just, think for yourself, for real, because your marriage is really only supposed to be between 3 people, you, your spouse, and God. So that, got to keep it in that triage or triangle, or you know what I'm trying to say. So number 2, and this kind of goes along with the first one, be careful who you confide in, or but at the same time be open to advice. And it's like, okay, well, that may sound hypocritical or oxymoron, whatever, but what I mean is, be careful who you confide in, because, I don't know, if you are telling, oh, my husband did this or my wife did this to people who may not like your wife or your husband, yeah, they're gonna, say some stuff that may not be the best thing for you. You just have to be careful who you talk to. But at the same time, I've heard people tell me, well, don't get advice from your single friends, and you shouldn't, be close to your single friends because you're married now. You should only have married friends. But I've been in situations where, oh, my husband did this and blah, 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 blah. And the married friends will give me advice, while the single friends will give me great advice. So, you got to be open to it. At the same time, if that makes sense, I don't know. The next one is that your mate comes first. Okay. They may have a weird issue. Oh, I don't like this, and this. It may seem weird to you, and your friends may think it's a headache, but you're not married to your friends. You're married to your spouse, and just respect what he or she needs if it's within reason. You know what I'm saying? We have a thing where we don't go certain places. Like, okay, Aaron would rather me not go to a certain place, and I think, if I tell people, it's like, why he gotta be like that? Why he had to say that? Well, I mean, it may be a headache, but this is our marriage, and if this is what's gonna make him happy, and he's not asking me to do anything crazy. This is the one I lay down with every night. This is the one I love. I have a life with. We have a son together. It's what's the big deal? You know what I'm saying? And there's probably things he wishes were different about me. That I have my things, and it's just like, it goes both ways. So, and it may seem like, oh, that's irrational or whatever the case may be, because I'm not going to say what it is, but it brings a lot of confusion down. Like, we don't have issues in certain areas because we just choose to respect the weird things that, we ask for. So, but your mate should come first. And that also includes friendships, certain friendships. If a certain person that you friends with makes your spouse feel some kind of way, it would be weird to defend the friend. It's one thing to explain, well, this person is here because blah, 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 we've been cool, blah, blah, blah. But if your spouse has legit concerns and they feel some kind of way, like, your mate should just come first. You know what I'm saying? If it means that much to you, okay, just let that friendship go, because you took vows, and it should just be, your mate should just have a certain level of priority in your life anyway. So, you can choose to take this advice or not, but like I said, this has helped us a whole lot, so maybe it'll help you. So the next one, don't fall off physically. Okay, now this, of course, is for men or women, and I know women, yeah, we have babies, and things happen as a result of the baby. So I'm not really talking about that per se. I'm not saying you have to look like Beyonce every day, but don't get comfortable to the point where it's like you're not even trying to take care of yourself. And that's for your kids, for your mate, and for yourself. Just, we can be comfortable and we can be casual, but still keep it cute. Still be that trophy wife for your man. Still keep your hair done. You know what I'm saying? Don't fall off just because you're married and just because, okay, I got the prize. Okay, I can just do me. You don't want to give your spouse a reason to stray. They should never stray, but you don't want to give them a reason either. Like, withholding sex from your mate. I don't believe in that. Now, okay, sometimes we beefing and it's just not going to happen, but I don't like withhold sex from my husband for a long period of time to maintain control. I don't play them games. I'm not giving him a reason to look elsewhere. And so the same way with keeping ourselves up, working out, eating right, that should never change. That should never change. That's for ourselves. Our bodies are temples. We only have one. You know what I'm saying? It should never change just because you're married. I understand we get stressed. Life happens. We work. I understand that. But at the same time, you're married. And this person's going to see you for the rest of their lives, God willing. You're going to see them for the rest of their lives, God willing. Don't you want to keep yourself cute for him? Don't you think you should keep yourself cute for her or for him, or, whatever the situation is, like, so that just benefits everybody in most ways. So yeah, don't fall off physically. If it's, of course, thyroids make you gain weight, then that's different. I'm not talking about stuff that's out of your control. I'm just talking about stuff that you can control. Taking care of yourself, keeping yourself up, just don't fall off. Keep it hot. Pretty much for the same reason you shouldn't fall off physically. Just don't get lazy. I know that we get busy. I know that we get tired. I know that we got the kids. We running around and this, that, and the third. But we have to keep making time for our mate as best as we can. Even if it's, I don't know, y'all schedule something in the calendar, whatever. Don't slack off in the sexy department. You know what I'm saying? And even having a date, just going out to eat, like, just having time together, because it's really easy to just fall by the wayside, and but whatever you don't maintain will die. Okay, so you have to maintain the sexy, you have to maintain the intimacy as far as just one-on-one time together as best as you can, and just maintain, because maintenance is everything. So this is just stuff that has helped us, and maybe hopefully it will help you. And if you have anything you want to add, you can of course leave your comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys. Tell me how I'm doing. Let me know if there's anything I should change. For the record, I don't edit because my laptop's not working. And I just maybe it'll be a little bit of laziness before the laptop died, but whatever, it is what it is. I hope that you're getting something from it. And like, comment, subscribe. And I'm gonna get to my homework and play with this crazy cat. And you guys have a great day. All right, bye-bye.